Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at creating a diagonal line pattern in Illustrator where the lines are varying thicknesses and colors. Now this was a question on my Skillshare channel and I suggested to the person how they would do that, and I said that I would make a video on YouTube because I think it's appropriate to anybody who uses Illustrator for pattern making. So we're going to start in Illustrator with a document 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels in size. Usually don't tell you to use my values, but for this one you may want to, just so that we make sure it's going to work really nicely, at least the first time that you do it. So we're going to start with a line that goes diagonally across this document, and we want to go from this edge to this edge. Now, if you're familiar with Pythagoras' theorem, and I'm sorry to bring maths into this, if we think of this as 1 and this as 1, then the length of the diagonal here is going to be about 1.414. So we need a line that is more than 1414. So I'm just going to call it 1420, and that will go from one corner to the other. That's really important. So I'm going to choose the line tool here, click in the document. You can see I've been here before. I'm actually going to make this 20 this time. So as I said, 1420, that's definitely going to fit across this document, and it's going to be 45 degrees. So just click OK. Now it is a black line and it's a one stroke line. Well, we can put whatever stroke we like on it. Just going to put a 60 point stroke on it. For this first line that we're going to go from one corner to the other, use an even number of pixels or points or whatever it is that you're working in. So what we're going to do is place this across the document, and you'll see that it fits exactly because of that calculation. So I'm going to select here on horizontal align center and vertical align center because I want to make sure that this runs perfectly across the document. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in half of this document. So we're going to fill in this part of the document with some additional lines. So let's just go and grab a copy of this one, hold down the Alt or Option key and drag a duplicate away. We'll change the color of it. So let's just make this a different color and let's make it a different thickness. Now in the interest of making this pattern pretty quickly, I'm going to go for larger values rather than small. So I'm going to come here and make another line here. So let's make this say 35 points in size, and let's give it a different color. And then let's go and get a duplicate of this. All we're looking to do is to prove that this pattern is going to work with different weight lines and with different color lines. So the colors are going to basically match up. That's pretty important when you're doing a pattern like this. So just going to grab these and make as many as you want to fill in this area here. So let's choose a sort of blue for this, greeny blue. So this is all I need for my pattern. I'm just going to move these a little bit. So this one's a bit closer here so that we won't have big gaps in the pattern later on. So now that we've got everything, I'm going to select over all of these shapes and go to Object and then Pattern and Make. Now I have my pattern dialog here. I'm going to turn off the artboard because it really is looking a bit hideous here. It makes it very difficult to see what's going on. Now the only thing that we need to do to make this a seamless repeating pattern is to set the width and the height to the exact same width and height as our document is in dimensions. And our document was 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels, so here is our tile, which is now 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. Now if you're seeing some spacing here that you don't like, you can come in here and fix it. So I'm just going to grab one of these lines and move it around. I'm going to grab this line here and move it too. Now I might think that I would like another line in here. Well, I'm in pattern mode, I can do that. I'm just going to hold down the Alt or Option key as I drag a duplicate of this line away. I can change its color very easily here, and I can also change its stroke weight, so I can make it bigger or smaller, all within this pattern dialog. You'll only be able to select half of these lines, so you'll only be able to select the lines in the top corner of this document because these are all repeats from the pattern. So once you're happy with your pattern, once you've got it looking the way you want it to look, now this one's not going to select, which tells me that this one is the one that is actually part of the pattern. So just be aware that you may be able to select some and not others. When you're done, just click here on Done. And let's go and show our artboard again. Let's go and get rid of these lines, don't need them anymore. I'll make a document the size of the artboard. I'm going to remove the stroke from it. And I'm going to fill it with our new pattern. I'm going to Object Transform Scale so we can see what our pattern looks like at a smaller size. I don't want to transform my objects. I do want to transform my pattern. I'm going to choose 25% for my pattern. And there is the completed pattern. Now this can be easily recolored. Just select it and click here on the Recolor Artwork dialog. Let's just get rid of this. I'm going into Advanced Options and I'm going into Edit. Here I can unlock the colors and I can just start dragging them around to wherever it is that I want them to go. So having actually created the design, I can now change the entire colorway of the design. I'm going into more sort of pinks and purples here. Now you might have seen a slight line through the pattern here. That's just a problem with Illustrator not being able to size the pattern on the screen. There's definitely no seam through the pattern here. If I enlarge the view of the document, you can see that there are no flaws in this pattern. That's just a problem with Illustrator showing a document on a screen that is only 1920 pixels wide. So there you have it, creating a pattern of diagonal lines in Illustrator. The diagonal lines are all different thicknesses and colors. That's just fine. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results, then you'll love my Skillshare content. I'm a Skillshare top teacher. I have hundreds of short courses on Skillshare that you can access along with thousands of other great courses, all for the price of a single subscription. If you're interested, there's a Skillshare coupon for you in the description below to use to sign up. Using this coupon benefits me as a creator, and it helps me continue to make free content available here for you also on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this video tutorial. On the screen now, you'll see a video that I've hand-picked for you. If you enjoyed the video you've just watched, I know that you're going to really enjoy the one I've picked for you to watch next.